Hello everyone, Larry here, and yes, it's time to play Hydroneer 2.0. Yes, found this game through one of the people that I follow, and it looks amazing. It seems like such a fun game. It's not an actual mining simulator, it's just, a fun game where you can fish, you can mine, you can make buildings, you get to sell stuff, you get to craft stuff. It looks like, it's a very relaxing time. So let's get into this. And I'm going to show you some tricks that I picked up when I first started playing this thing, which makes life so much easier. So here we have our big bucket. Okay. I'm tossing this thing in the river. See how there's always water in it? Yeah, makes life so much easier because you have this bucket that you're going to have to shovel dirt in. And once you shovel dirt in it, then you go in here and you toss it in here. Well, when I first started playing, I always had this big bucket over here on the side. So I had to keep on using that little bucket, not only for my dirt, but to fill this thing up with water. And then I realized, hey, if I just keep this big bucket in here, I don't have to use this for water. Now, the funny thing is, see how this bucket is? It's upside down. Well, in the real world, it won't hold anything. Well, in this world, it will. I think it's funny. Some people will be like, oh, that's just not realistic. Well, it's no big deal. But it'll hold 4 shovelfuls. And then we go over here and we drop it in here. And there's a lot of rinse and repeating just to get this thing started. So we put that there, toss this thing down, come over here with our brush. Now, if you notice, I've got that blue dot. Okay, I can select items with that. But if I'm going to drop something, you see that dark little dot that's floating around too? Well, that's where the item's going to land if you go ahead and drop the item. So like if I drop this brush, notice it hit where that little dot was. So yeah, it's a little dynamic that you have to get used to in this game. Because if not, your things go all over the place. So it gets to be funny, and it gets to be a huge headache at the same time. But we do this and we keep doing it until we get a decent amount of ore. And we're looking for gold, iron, and there's a better metal called cloudium. And then, of course, you can get gems. So we can make necklaces, we can make swords, axes, rings, all sorts of fun stuff. So let me show you what we do with this. I'm going to pick this up. And then you run over here, and we have towns, which is really cool. Bunch of different stores. So we'll go to this store in just a sec. I'm not going to have very much money here, but I just want to show you so you can get a feel for the game. I mean, the graphics, yes, are they cartoonish? Yes, but they're perfect for this game. This game gets to be so addictive. And that's the crazy part is you're like, really? This is the premise of the game? How boring. I'm not going to waste my money on this. But believe it or not, it's so addictive. It's just fun. I mean, it's a blast. Now, we have this little shard here, which we can melt down, and we'll put it in a little booster thing that makes our equipment run a lot faster. And wow, we got a whopping 13. Woohoo! So you can call them gold coins, hydro coins, whatever, but it's our money. And 13 isn't going to buy us, I don't think, anything. But, okay. Here we have a truck. And believe it or not, it's ours. And it runs on water. It's really cool. And you get to drive this puppy around. And with how they have the physics in this game, you start bouncing all over the place. You can go four-wheeling all over this map. So it's funny. It gets crazy. Come on, back up. See, even has the backup lights, all that fun stuff. So, okay. So now we know we have the vehicle. We get a handcart. And we'll be using the handcart quite a bit when we start buying stuff over here. We also get a map. Now, we're at Ember Cradle, which is on the left side. But if you notice, we can go ahead and we can buy other claims and all that other fun stuff. So as we progress, we can get into bigger and bigger mines and all that other fun stuff. And believe me, yeah, you're going to be like, I want out of this starter area. I want to get into the better stuff. So now watch this. You cannot steal from this game. This is funny. So here's the bed. And this is so you can control the day-night cycle. But watch this. I love that scream. It's so funny. But here we have pipes. And remember how I was telling you about that crystal that we put stuff into? Yeah, we put it in this item right here to power up our machines up to full water pressure. Because you lose water pressure for every piece of pipe that you add onto your circuit. And this is right here is our pump where all the gloriousness is going to start from. And you can put little boosters on this. You can put water filters on these pipes. I mean, Max, who's the creator of the game, he's gone all out. So it's pretty cool. We can buy torches. We can buy dynamite, which is, yeah. You figure these would make big holes. They don't. And then you can catch fish passively by using these pots. Or you can get a basic fishing pole, which you can level up and get new fishing poles. So it's pretty cool. And then, of course, here you start everything by hand if you want to. So you get your furnaces, your crucibles. You can make, pour your iron and gold in here and all that. Make bars. Of course, smithing hammer, anvils. So you can do all sorts of fun stuff. Here it has a little hand sorter so you can separate out your minerals, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, you got to have your basics. You're going to love the pickaxe because the deeper we go on our mine claim, the better stuff we get. So you get larger nuggets, larger gems, all that fun stuff. So you want to dig deep. And then, of course, you have your polishers and all that other fun stuff, buckets. But over here, this is the automation. This is where we want to get to because this is your drill. So it's always going to be pulling up dirt as long as you have water pressure to it. And then you'll use conveyor belts to put stuff into this, which grinds the dirt down to nuggets and gems and all that other fun stuff. And then we'll put it on sorters and all that. Well, Max is just like, well, you don't just get to sit there and watch everything. If you don't design your system well, you're going to have to repair stuff. So you can buy wrenches and all that fun stuff. Now, that's just this area. So let's jump in our truck and I'm going to show you an even better spot because there's so much more to this game that, if you're ever consider buying just a really chill, like base builder, management game, this is, I bought this for $6.99. It was on sale on Steam. And I tell you what, I've already got my money's worth out of it. This is cool. Now watch this. Instead of taking the long way into town, I'm just going to four-wheel it. This thing just gets all crazy. Now this is the slow truck. You can upgrade up to a super fast truck. And I'll show you that. He's got a little dealership over here. Now, the one thing I have, for a creator to do is just like amazing. Here it says Blitz's house. Well, Blitz is a YouTuber, content creator. And Blitz, I think he was the first person to get 1 million gold in the game or something like that. And Max is just like, hey, you know what? You're cool. And so he does Easter eggs like this. So some of the biggest content creators that have supported the game, Max is recognizing it. I mean, how many studios and creators do that? That is just, yeah. So you want to talk about a creator who's involved in the with the community? Yeah, Max definitely is. Now, this right here is a jeweler where you'll just sell everything to the jeweler. It's no big deal. But this is where the fun starts. Here, this is your first level of house building, and I mean, build whatever you want. With all the pieces that they give you, whatever you want to design and create, you can. It can be big, it can be small. You can buy lighting. I mean, it's so you can build whatever size base you want, and you can combine all your equipment into it. So it's awesome. But Max changed the game in 2.0 because there's 3 different levels of construction material. So now it all comes together so seamlessly. So you can put stone and wood together and all that other fun stuff. It's awesome. Now, if you notice, the pipes at our other place, our starter area, were gray. They were just iron pipes. Well, now you can buy the high-end pipes, which is the Cloudium pipes, which gives you a whole lot more pressure, because water pressure is everything to get your equipment running faster. And then, you have corks to put at the end of the pipes. You have your pressure gauge, and then, of course, your water filters. These are a must. And then, of course, you can turn your water on and off. And then you have scales, so you can measure stuff out, which I know I'm going through a bunch of stuff, but it's just like all really cool. And then you have funnels, and then this is awesome. You'll get a huge pile of uncut gems or polished gems, and you just put them all in here, or have your conveyor belts go in there, pull the handle, and it turns everything into monster gems. So yeah, super convenient, makes life easier. And then here you have your furniture that you can buy. Rugs, chairs, better bed versus our cot. I mean, think of it. We have a throne. That is so awesome. And then, of course, PETA might not like this, but yeah, you have your trophy. And then storage for all your stuff. But yeah, this is, and you can even buy potted plants. Yes. And then here you can scrap stuff, because you're going to go through so much stuff, and you're just going to be like, I want to get rid of it. So you can scrap everything here. And then over here, you have better hand carts that you can get, which, believe me, yeah, you're going to want to get into these, because you don't want to be hauling stuff single item. But Max even upped up the level of the game with logic. So now you can fully automate your mining equipment. So you can get as crazy as you want in your automation. And it is, oh yeah, yeah. So if you're a programmer, yeah. Oh, and by the way, we do have nukes in the game. So if you don't like digging, yeah, just nuke the hole. That is going to be so much fun to do. Okay, what other fun stuff? Oh, I got to take you over to the car dealership. Or I should say the truck dealership. And right here. Okay, this is the base model, which is what we already own. But then these are the fast trucks. These, oh, I bought one of these in my test build. I tell you what, it's, oh, yeah. If you've ever been out to like sand dunes and all that, and oh yeah, it's hilarious to be driving around in those. Oh, and here we have our belts, or I should say our conveyors. So you can totally automate your buildup, and it's fun. And then you have all sorts of little crazy equipment that you can attach to it. Like, you have your gem polisher, and then the dirt shredder, from what I understand right now, isn't working like it should, because since he released 2.0, he's getting all that stuff done and whatever bugs that are in it fixed. And my understanding is this is going to be taken care of real soon, because you have tier 1 and tier 2 stuff. And in the tier 2, it's supposed to put out bigger dirt chunks and all that other fun stuff. Well, this is supposed to help reduce them. So if you get into like monster huge builds, you add stuff like this to make it more manageable for your equipment. So yeah, I mean, you can go as big as you want in this game. It just comes down to how powerful is your computer. So, but he did optimize the game, so if you don't have that strong of a computer, you can still build some seriously large builds. So it's no big deal. But back up to, I'm going to see if I can take this thing up full power and see what happens. Oh, I got stuck. With the red truck that I have, it's a lot more fun. This is the starter truck. And Max has put all sorts of Easter eggs in the game for you to find and all that. So you have one scavenger hunt that you can do passively in the game, and he's got relics in the game that you can dig up that you have to find, and it unlocks this cave that has a cache hoard in it. This thing starts bouncing all over the place. And this is the slow one. Okay. So that's the little tour that if you start the game, those are the areas that you definitely want to hang around and get stuff from. But this is what we're off to at the very beginning I can tell you right now, it's tedious and it's boring. But you want to get through like 12 buckets before... Oh, that's right. See, I forgot my pan. I got to go get it. But as I was saying, you want to get like 12 buckets before you sell anything. Because like right now, if I had the bed, I could turn it back into day. And so unfortunately, I can't do that right now. So it's getting dark. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is watch this. Okay. See if you can see that little, it's getting dark. Can't see it. The little dot gets hard to see in the dark. But we do have this. You get a free lantern at the very beginning. And if you just left click on it while you're holding it, you can light it up, left click again, turn it off. So it'd be nice if I had two, one for the hole and one for over here. But I've been playing around and we're doing our little tour that it got dark on me. So I'm going to be doing some rinsing and repeating here. I'm going to come back after I have about a dozen buckets done and we'll proceed after that. So I'll be right back. Now, I don't know how many buckets I did. I got all confused and lost track. So we're going to go sell some stuff, but I want to show you this. If you ever get stuck in your hole and you can't get out, first you want to try to tear it up so you can get out. But if you can't, what you want to do is hit escape and hit unstuck. So then you never have to worry about being trapped in your hole. And it will put you close to your mine claim or the closest town or something like that. But yeah, it's not too bad. So let us go sell some stuff. Now I sold my other bucket because I lost count, but it's all irrelevant. It just, what I'm trying to do for the very beginning, from what I've learned, and it's a learning curve, is I want my bed because it is horrible to try to do this at night. Because I have no lanterns. So we get another 112 there. So that's not bad. I got all those little power shards there. You have to get used to that little black dot, which is a pain. I wish it was a better way, but, you know, with the physics, you know, it's something you get used to, but it is a kind of a pain. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to just drop my one bucket over here. And then I'm going to grab my coins. We're going to come over here. Now, this is what I do. I know everybody starts the game differently and all that. But, to combine your coins, you want to drop them on top of each other. Sometimes they don't combine in the bucket and you have to do it on the ground. But, it is what it is. But for me, what I found that works the best is I get my bed. And we'll go ahead and drop that there. 24. So we're going to go ahead and buy that. And I'm just going to go ahead and get it placed. Now, the cool thing is Max introduced a grid system in 2.0 from what I understand. So I left click on my item and you use R to rotate it. And then you also have T and Y for X and Y on the grid. So now I can use my bed. Isn't that cool? So now it's morning. So it's going to make it a lot easier to do stuff. Now for me, since I know we need to get to the very bottom level of our mine claim, which is like 8 blocks deep or something like that, I grabbed the pickaxe. Yeah, it's 122, but, you know, oh well. So, do I have enough money for that? Oh, we have 274, so yes. So, I'm going to buy this. And I'm going to haul this back over to the claim. Oh, I forgot to pay for it. What a bummer. So, let's grab another one. I thought I did pay for it. I didn't hit the button. Okay, there we go. So, let's haul this back over here. Now, I know you didn't watch a video to watch me run back and forth. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab this cart. And the weird thing is you can't control this cart with the mouse. You have to use the ASWD keys to move around. Now this cart is slow. This is just a noob cart. Get the fast cart and you're always running. It's really cool. Now what you want to do is look at the handle. See how it's turned like that? That means it's almost on its side. What you want to do is make sure it's kind of flat and over this and then get out of it. So then it's right there. Okay. Now I want it's hard to get in and out of the hole. So I want to build some stairs and this is the easiest way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this thing tossed in here, right? Which it won't, but okay. Now, if I try dropping just another one in here, it's gonna like throw a fit. It won't let me do it. So what I do is I just walk into the cart, put it like that, and it allows me to overlay these bricks or these blocks on top of each other. Now I can afford, since they're 5 each, I can afford a half a dozen easily. Oop. Just got to make sure you get on the cart. Come on. I'm not on the cart right. You have to be on the cart just the right way and it'll let you on it. So I try to grab up on the left side of the cart and we don't have any issues. So we'll start out with 4 block. Buy it and we're going to pick up our cart. And we're going to head back to the claim. Okay, as long... I'm hung up. So that's not a... There we go. I would have had to hit the unstuck button if it wouldn't have let me loose. Okay. Now, the trick to this is, like I said, the deeper you go, the bigger the nuggets. So we're going to take one of these blocks for our starting point. Right there. Okay. Now, I could keep on shoveling, putting it in my bucket, and, you know, keep on washing my dirt. I don't want to do that because I want to get down to the glorious stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear this up. The pickaxe basically destroys the dirt. You can't get it back, at least not right now. If you get a rake, and the rake is, for right now, the excavation allows you to flatten things out and deepen things up. That will allow us to do more stuff. But I can't afford one of those things right now, so we have to live with what we have. So what I'm doing is I'm getting us tiered down, which is going to get us into the glorious dirt that we want. Now, I don't have this one building hammer that I really wish I had, because you can lock stuff down with the building hammer. And as you grow your build, you're definitely going to want to do that, because you can so easily mishandle items. And it'll drive you absolutely insane, because you break your build when you accidentally pull a pipe off. You know, all of a sudden you're just like, why did everything turn off? It's like, oop, I got a pipe in my hand. So, yeah, it's just one of those quirks that you have to deal with. But now I don't have to worry about getting trapped in my hole. And I'm going to do this until I get us down to bedrock. So once I get down to bedrock, I'll bring us back and we'll continue on, okay? I have now managed to get us down to bedrock, and it only took about 10 minutes, if that. And what I did is I put this other block here. And I have gotten so close to the side of the mine claim that I know it's hard to see, but there's parts of this I cannot dig because of how it slopes down. But here's the pay dirt. This is basically the deepest part that we can dig in for this claim. And this is where the nice stuff is. Now, with how I have my lantern in the way, it's kind of a pain to get in and out. So what we want to do is we just want to do the rinse and repeat digging thing. And what we want is to be able to go buy some pipe. We want to be able to buy the pump, and we're going to want to be able to buy some pipe. And what we're going to do is going to make life so much easier is I'm going to put the pipe right here, the pump, and then we're going to move it. We're going to put pipe over to about right here. And then I'm going to dig a hole straight down. And what it's going to do is I'll have the room set up so we can have the pan and all that. The water is going to drip down and fill up my pan. But the really cool thing is when I do that, I don't have to use my bucket anymore. I just have to bring my shovel down and my brush, and one shovel goes into the big pan, then I brush it. So I don't have to bring it a full bucket anymore. So it speeds up everything so much faster. So hopefully people will heed that little tip, because if you want to be able to progress in this game and not take forever, that's something you want to do. Now, I know it's hard to see in the contrast, but I tried digging right here and it won't let me. You can see a little bit of a difference between the dirt and the bedrock. So right now we're traveling along. This is dirt, and then right down there's bedrock. So we are at the best level of dirt that you can get, which means it's the largest nuggets that we're going to be able to get. And the other thing with doing the whole pipe trick is I don't have to worry about the glare of the water or anything like that. because we don't have very much light down here. But being able to do one shovel instead of 4 to get the thing to work, it saves so much time, because since there's so much, see, I forgot to use my brush, so I kind of foobarred that. So do that. But the cool thing is, even though I foobarred it, it allowed me to pick up that dirt. I don't lose it, and I can drop it in there and do my brush thingy. But I see a lot of people, at least in my opinion, I think people would quit this game because at the very beginning, it's so labor intensive. You have to do everything by hand. And, I've read comments for other streams and videos where people are just like, oh, that's boring. Well, you have to crawl before you walk, before you run. So I think it's a good balance of learning the dynamics of the game. If you can get through this little bit of monotony at the beginning, you're going to have so much fun in this game as you start to automate. And yeah, this is my Let's Play series, but it's also a tutorial at the same time. So you can avoid the same pitfalls that I went through trying to get this game started. And I think that's where, the rubber's going to meet the road for a lot of people. Are they going to tolerate the very beginning of this game? But I can tell you right now, the rewards they're fun, and you're going to be able to create something that can be just absolutely crazy. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to rinse and repeat this a few more times. But wait a minute, let's do this. We barely have dug anything in this hole as far as the new pay dirt goes. Let's just see, just off these, 3 or 4 buckets that I've done, let's see how much more money we'll make off of this. Now, maybe, 2, 3, 4 buckets, it's not going to be a huge difference, but I just want to show you from just doing this little trick of how much more money you can make just doing, look at that, 181 just off of those, 3 or 4 buckets? That is great. So there's far less work that we have to do just by being at that depth. But with that 181, I might be able to afford, just off this little bit of work, to take us to the next step of laying that pipe, which will be fantastic. Because then I can show you that, hey, you can truly cut down your beginning time just by doing these little tricks. Now, I'm not going to carry that thing on my cart because it's a pain in the butt. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and, okay, we're right. Where are we at? Okay, so let's just put it right here. And like I said, I can rotate this pipe, but that'll work for me. So let me clear off this cart. See, this is the funky part, is it won't let you drop this stuff on top of each other. So you have to make sure you have room, or I could have just picked it up, built on top of it. And sometimes that's oh yeah, that's right. It's just easier to store your stuff that way, just by building it. Because you can always just pull it apart. It's no big deal. So let's buy some pipe. And we're going to need some straight pieces, and we're going to need a curved piece. So here's our straight pieces. let's go ahead and drop this here. Hopefully I have enough pipe to do this. If not, it'll be okay. We'll just have to do some more digging. There we go. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to sleep for a sec. What's creepy is when you're doing the sleep mode, at sometimes the game will have your character looking down at you. It's just like so creepy. You're like, dude, what is your issue here? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep digging. Okay, I'm lost. Okay. Yeah, see? Right now I'm clicking my button to dig and it won't let me because we're so close to the bedrock. So, what I'm going to try to do here, I want to open up some space. The reason why I'm opening up the space is I'm going to bring down a couple blocks. And I'm going to see if I can get it to lay down properly. Yes, let me drop it. You're not letting me drop it. I have to do more digging so it clears space. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this and let's see if I can place it. Okay, I'm going to have to go out one because since that's bedrock, it's not going to allow me to place it. So it's going to be a weenie. And what I'm going to do is we're going to place this. And see if I can get that block there. Ah, see how the blocks are kind of funky? You have to, since I played around with my X and Y key to do the pipe, it tries to do the same configuration for these other things. So that's kind of a quirky thing in the game. So, okay, that looks decent. Okay. Mr. Bucket. Now, we grab our big pan, and this is going to make life so much easier. Let's grab our big pan. And right here, we're going to go ahead and place the big pan. And what it looks like is it's not going to fill up with water because it's not centered correctly. So what I'm going to do, and this is just trial and error. I thought I was far enough from the bedrock. I'm going to have to dig the hole down. Okay, so we have that. And what I'm going to want to do is drop my pickaxe. We're going to take this little pipe off. We're going to grab a straight piece. Turn it. Now I'm going to throw this on. There we go. Now it's dropping right. Okay, see how the bucket's full now? This is the cool part. Let's move this out of the way. Let's grab our brush. This is to me the next iteration of automation. So now I pick up my shovel, toss that in there, and see, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Oh, come on. But that's a little high for me. So I'm going to drop this down and see, the bedrock's still in my way. It would be so much nicer if I could do it the other way, but my bad for getting this close to the bedrock. Now, I have an option I can do. I can shift everything over more to the left and make it more convenient for me, or I can just deal with it. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and deal with it because all this is going to change anyway, so it's no big deal. But you're going to do this probably for, and let me show you. Probably going to be doing this for like 15 minutes, depending on how fast you are. But what we want to do is we want to get enough money to get our first bit of machines. Because, yes, could I put my machines on the very top level and get my automation started real fast? Yeah, but you don't get it. It takes forever to make money. By putting it down here and having my miner down here, I can use the belts to move everything up to the top of the ground. And I'll make literally 5-6 times more amount of money versus having my machines up at the very top. So I want to make sure my drill gets down here. So it comes down to just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. As soon as we have enough money, then life is good. And I know people will be like, no, I don't want to do that. But it's the necessary evil of the game. Now, the great thing is yes, am I on bedrock? Yes. What I can do is, when I get enough space to be able to put my miner in here, I'm going to put my block down, and then I'm going to throw a bottom level of dirt onto the block, and then I'm going to place my miner on it. And as far as the miner's concerned, it's on the best dirt for that level. Now, some people get really funky with their dirt because they're like, okay, I'll dig this deep, but I'll keep my drill up at the very top surface, and I'll get the best nuggets and all that because I'm using top grade dirt. No, what happens is the game converts the dirt, even though you dug it down here, if you take it up to the very top level, the game converts it to top level soil. So you don't get any benefit of taking top level dirt up high to try to get away from having to set your miners down deep. So avoid that mistake. I see a lot of people from the videos that I watch are making that mistake, and it's just like, guys, no. So it's a good tip to know when you're first starting out on this game. But the great thing is, we're just dealing one shovel at a time. So as fast as you can do this, the faster you make money. And so here I'm chatting to you and trying to do this at the same time. Now, if you notice, I'm having problems with dropping my shovel. And that's because I haven't dug out the roof high enough. So that's my bad. So I gotta... Okay, fine. Let me get my freaking pickaxe. It gets so finicky. You're just like, no, I don't want to do this. And it's like, yes, you do. Make me money. Don't make me sit there and have to play with my shovel. I want the gold. I want the rubies. I want the onyx. Give me emeralds. But this is how we live in the game the first hour or so, depending on how froggy you feel on playing in your play style. It just, is there a perfect way of doing things? I know people will argue, yes. Well, anybody that's watched my videos, you've always heard me say, you do you, I'll do me. You know, there's no perfect way. I'm sure. You know what? I bet you if there is a perfect way, the only person that would know is Max. Because he designed the freaking game. Oh, I still got to get that construction hammer. Went to grab my shovel and picked up the lantern. But yeah, like I was saying, if there was a perfect way to play, the only person that would know that would be Max, and I'm sure he's not going to tell anybody. He'd be like, "Oh, you figured it out yourself." But this is just like, for me, it's super relaxing. I can do some rinse and repeat, and I can start thinking about how I'm going to set up my very first automation. And I don't have to worry about, feeding settlers and plagues and tornadoes. It's just, I'm giving my mind a little bit of a break because I love that game, but when you play too much of it, it gets stressful. And I know I committed to making a channel and all that, and I need to meet the needs of the viewers, but it's like, guys, I can only do so much in my life. And gotta give the, why did I do that? I so want that construction hammer. I wonder if it's going to let me find my brush. No, it's not. Okay, well, you let me drop this at least. Here, I'll place you. I'll drop you. I think maybe we should go buy the construction hammer. Okay, let's see how much money we have. Oh, we got to sleep first. I wonder if it's going to stare down at me. See? Isn't that creepy? I was like, oh. How can you have somebody how can you sleep when somebody's standing over you? I'm too paranoid of a person to deal with that. So let's run up here and let's see how much stuff we can sell here. Because I really didn't do that much work. Look at that, 851 for that little bit of work that we did. Where you compare that to all the other shoveling that I did. If I would have done all that shoveling at that level, we would probably have 7,000-8,000 worth of coin right now. That's how big it is to go deep. Now, what can we buy? I could actually afford this equipment right now, but remember that construction hammer I was telling you about? I'm going to buy that first. We can do this other stuff shortly, but let's see if I can find it. You have the blacksmithing hammer. Come on, construction hammer. Right here. Construction hammer. We're going to grab one of these. And let me show you what it does. See how this box is orange? By hitting it with the hammer, how now it doesn't light up? I can now try to grab this thing and it won't let me pick it up. So what you can do is you can basically lock all your stuff down so you don't have to worry about accidentally picking it up. And believe me, once you start getting your build going and you're automating, you don't want to be accidentally picking stuff up. It is such a pain. So just go in and lock everything down. So now I don't have to worry about accidentally picking things up. Life is going to be so much easier now. But this is basically going to be a rinse and repeat for me until I can afford my machines. So we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. And in between episodes, I'll do some digging and get this area widened out so we can get the machines placed. So we'll get our first machine placed, our first drill, and then we'll do the grinder. I'll show you how to do belts and all that other fun stuff, and show you some great ways, some tips and tricks to make it more efficient and less of a headache. So hopefully you liked this first episode, and I'm Larry, and hopefully you're having a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.